Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you my March TBR. Usually this is not the position which I film. If you've been following me, you know that already. It's just that the lighting is not that proper today, so I've tilted the angle a little bit. So without any further ado, let's get into the books now. The first book in my March TBR is the only one which I have not got my physical copy of yet, and it is Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Last Hour series, which is the latest installment in the Shadowhunter Chronicles. So if you didn't know, I read Chain of Cold in January and I enjoyed it throughout. So if you're interested, you can also read that. But before reading Chain of Cold, you'll have to finish reading the Infernal Devices series. Now, the only problem with this book is that I've pre-ordered it and it might reach me anytime in the first 10 days of March. So depending on the time when I receive this one, all the other books in my TBR will either bump up or go down. It's only based on this one. This deals with the story of Cordelia Carstairs, who's come to London, and some demon disease gets spread in London for the Shadowhunters, and yeah, everything has to be dealt by the Shadowhunters from then on. It was a really interesting series to read. The plot was not the main focus, just like in any other Shadowhunters books. Only the characters and the relationships between them, and the number of characters, the casting of the characters was so huge in this one. That is the first book. The book, if I'm not wrong, had 15 main characters, which is the only drawback if you ask me. Other than that, it's a really fun book to read. So this is my topmost priority for reading in March. The next book in the TBR is an adult contemporary romance, and this is one of those books from my 2021 standalone TBR, and I'm talking about Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is a queer romance that is set up in a utopian world. You guys, if you've been following me, you already know that I don't like dystopia as a genre that much. I tried reading one dystopian novel this month, and I should say it was not that great. Okay, it was a bit boring for me if you ask me. I'll talk about more in depth in my wrap-up video, so do check in my wrap-up when it is out. It'll be out next week sometime. And the thing about this one which intrigues me a lot is that many people say that after reading this book, it just feels so awesome and it's so cozy a read rather than anything. Usually when it comes to adult books, I've only seen adult books which are strong, okay, that is which have a punch when you read them, especially in a sad way. But this is the only book in quite a while that I've heard from many people saying that it was a really fun book to read rather than anything else. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm picking this up. I actually tried to read this in February itself, before Valentine's Day, but due to some of the other books which I was reading, okay, they were so good, so I was not able to put them down and pick this up. This has been moved into March, but I'm sure that I will be reading this in March. The next book is Darkdawn by Kristoff. Now this is an adult grimdark fantasy series. I read the first book Nevernight in January and I enjoyed it a lot. And God's Grave, that is in this month of February, I'm reading it by the time I'm filming this video. So most probably when this video is out, I would have finished reading God's Grave. I should say that Nevernight was good and God's Grave is far better compared to Nevernight, and I'm expecting a lot to this conclusion for the series, which is Darkdawn. I've heard only really good things about the conclusion of the series rather than any other part. Also, the author has told somewhat a little bit about the climax of the series in the first book itself, so there are a lot of things which I am theorizing towards the end of the book. But I should say that this is one of those books in which you think something is going to happen, but the author actually takes a totally different turn and makes things happen in a different way. You might think that, okay, I'm thinking this something different might happen, but he makes us believe that this is the thing that's going to happen, but towards the end it's not at all something which we might have imagined or theorized in any way. So I'm expecting a lot from this one, and I hope that it doesn't disappoint towards the end. Also, some decisions that the author made in the book too are some things which I did not expect at all, just as I said before, and expecting all those things to be wrapped up properly in this one. Let's just wait and see if I'm going to enjoy this or not. The next book in the TBR is the one I'm going to buddy read with my brother, and it is an autobiographical fiction by Paulo Coelho, that is Hippie. In this book, Paulo Coelho tells his life story, putting it in a fictional backdrop and making a fictional character as the protagonist. Most people who have read and loved the other works of Paulo Coelho are not that great a fan of Hippie, but those who didn't like his other books have been influenced and inspired from this book a lot. Now, I should say that I have read only one of his books before, which is The Alchemist, his most famous book, and I should say that I was not such a big fan of that book because I thought that I think that it's overrated. I'm planning to read it sometime this year and make a review again. Let's just wait and see if it's going to happen or not. That's one of the main reasons I picked this up, and also my brother likes Paulo Coelho's works, so he was the one who picked this up, and we are going to buddy read this month, and I hope I end up liking this and begin developing a taste for his style of writing. Let's just wait and see if I'm going to enjoy this or not. The next two, that is the last two books in my TBR, are going to be non-fiction books. Of these, the first one is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Harrari. This is one of my most anticipated reads for this year, as well as one of those intimidating reads for me personally, because I've heard only really awesome things about this one, and I'm sure that anyone who's out there who's not even a reader will know that this book exists. See how big it is. First of all, this is a book about human evolution and everything, just everything about us being human beings, from developing from a very primal age to now. And my brother has finished reading this one as an audiobook, and he told me that while I'm reading this one, I cannot parallelly read other books because it's going to be so intense an experience. And that is the same thing that I've heard from many people. They've not said me not to parallelly read it with anything else, but they have said that I should take my time and read it as slowly as possible, because it's going to be so intense a ride throughout. And I do think that I will like it a lot, because the more immersive a book is for me, the more I enjoy it always. And if a book is this much intense as other people say it, it needs to be that much immersive as well. Actually, I'm just trash for that kind of books. I'm very much expecting a lot from this one, and let's just wait and see when I'm going to read this and how fast and how much enjoyably this ride is going to be for me. The last book in my TBR is 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel with Blake Masters. This is another non-fiction self-help book, and this is a book that is mainly focused towards how to begin a startup and things like that, and also on a little bit on personal branding. Now, I'm expecting to read a lot more self-help books that are coherent to developing one's own brand as well as personal development in many ways, and that's one of the main reasons why I picked this one this month. It's also relatively a very short book, so I must be able to read this in an easier as well as faster way than I normally do when it comes to non-fiction books. And if you guys have any other recommendations for books like this one, please do let me know down in the comments, because I'm always open to getting book recommendations, especially when it comes to non-fiction books, because I was not that huge a fan of non-fiction books before 2019, and 2020 was a better year for me when it comes to non-fiction, and I'm planning to make that even more expansive in this year, that is 2021. And I need a lot of recommendations from you guys who do read a lot more non-fiction compared to fiction in general. So please do let me know in the comments, and even if you've read this one, please do let me know. One of the main reasons why I'm interested in reading this one is after watching a video from this YouTube channel called The Book Show. Okay, it's a Tamil channel that is specifically for books right now, and it's hosted by this RJ named Anandi. So if you're a person who understands Tamil, please do follow the channel and look for this video also, because it's quite a recent video, so you'll be able to find it very soon. Let's just wait and see if I end up getting something useful out of this or not. So yes guys, these and Chain of Iron are all the books that I've planned to read and prioritize for the month of March when it comes to this year, and I'm very much excited for all these books because they are all totally different from each other. Okay, I have nearly every category of books, that is both young adult and adult, and I'm very much interested to read all of them. And I cannot even say which book I'm more interested in, because all these sound very much intriguing as well as my type to me. So I do hope that I'll be enjoying all of them in March. Let's just wait and see. And if you did enjoy watching today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel, because I publish new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.